I mean, you are older than I am, so
It's facts. Facts.
come on.
Tristan, did you know that TikTok is exploring a completely separate algorithm so that it can slide into the United States and be approved by the current administration?
Dude, I didn't know that. Actually, I was reading it this morning and I didn't really think about that. I thought they're gonna fight this. It's gonna go away because they don't give a damn. They're like, screw it, we're not gonna give away our algorithm. But I didn't think that they'd create a brand new TikTok
Yeah.
and do that. I was like, oh, interesting, interesting. Here's Here is what we're looking at. I'm going to share my screen with you. For those of you that are watching, we're sharing an article and then something from TikTok, from a TikTok report. I'll read it, and I'll go to you, Jeff. It says TikTok is working on a clone of its recommendation algorithm for its 170 million US users. That's a lot of American users, dude. That may result in a version that operates independently of its Chinese parent and be more palatable to American lawmakers who want to ban it, according to sources with direct knowledge of the efforts. So it looks like that's not from TikTok, but that's from Reuters. And what do you think about that, man? Do you think it goes through? Do you think it passes? Do you think the American lawmakers are like, oh, okay, got it. It's a version of this specifically for the United States, but who's it owned by?
Said it before, I'll say it again. The last three times, this kind of just faded into the sunset. And I feel like it was very similar because if you remember, I think it was the first banning threat that Oracle and Walmart were the big investors. And then we just assumed it happened and it never did. And it just kind of faded. And I think there's this thing called Project Texas, which I've never heard of. I'm going to need to read that. Which TikTok's been working on for more than a year. So even prior to this whole ban thing coming around, they've been working on, creating a quote unquote American algorithm or something that I guess is more palatable for people that are against it. And yeah, so my opinion, all of this stuff will continue to work, and November and December will come and go, and all of a sudden TikTok will still be here, and January 19th will come and go, and we'll be like, well, we're going to be looking back and like, well, what happened? And
That's
here we
funny.
stood, and that's what I think is going to happen.
I think you're right because look, now we go to TikTok's official X page, TikTok policy, and look what it says about this whole thing. The Reuters story published today is misleading and factually inaccurate. Not I look, dude, I wouldn't believe anything TikTok tells me to my face, right? But let's continue. As we said in our court filing, the qualified divestiture demanded by the act to allow TikTok to continue operating in the United States is simply not possible, not commercially, not technologically, not legally, and certainly not on the 270-day timeline required by the act. So this kind of just says exactly what you said, which is they're still going to be around. They're not going to separate. It's just one entity, and that's how they're going to show up here. They're going to keep fighting it. And I think you're right, man. Past the elections, everybody would be like, "Oh, it's back to normal."
Yeah.
Very
It's
interesting.
interesting too. If you pull back up that X
Yeah.
post, look at the first comment. And I just don't, by Dan Ushman. Like,
It says, "I can't wait until TikTok is out of business in the US. Truly, it can't happen fast enough."
why? Like, why? Why does this social media app bother you so much?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because Dan Ushman has no presence on TikTok. He sucks ass. That's why.
Yeah. I
Anytime,
mean,
anytime people can't figure something out, dude, what happens?
yeah,
They
it's
hate on
interesting.
it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing every single time.
It's still a lot of uneducation about the whole Chinese involvement, which we just put out a podcast about this recently. So go check out our YouTube channel if you haven't. And I went on a rant for about 10 or 15 minutes with a bunch of just data. I have no skin in the game. If TikTok goes away, it's not going to change my life. I'm just going to shift everything over to Instagram and we're going to continue on. But I just don't get why the hate, why everybody is so concerned. It's just it's so unfounded. It's I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I agree. I agree. All right, quick pivot. Let's go. Since you mentioned YouTube, this is our YouTube page. We just hit 2,000 subscribers just the last few days.
Oh,
We finally hit that. That's pretty cool, man.
very cool.
I'm
With
excited
no,
about that.
now it brings up a good point. So I think if I'm an outsider looking in, my question would be, well, how'd you do it? Like, what are you doing? Are you running paid ads? Are
Don't ask
you
us that question, Jeff. Don't ask us that question.
but seriously, like, but I think that is the answer. The answer is we're not doing anything special. We're just being consistent. And we're just creating consistent content and staying within our niche. And really, it's consistency. There is nothing. We're not doing anything. We're just creating content, right?
I mean, look, since we're gonna play the truth game, I don't think either of us knew we hit 2,000. We didn't even know we hit 1,000. We're like, what? When did that happen?
Mhm.
But, but when we went and took a look at the analytics and we saw where most of our followers are coming from, we just outlined shorts here, went to popular, and we take a look at where all of our views are coming from, which also, by the way, match up with our subscribers or our followers. 32,000 views, 11,000 views, 11, 11, 10, 10. It's consistent.
Mhm.
We're getting a lot of our views, a lot of our views from our shorts, like in the thousands consistently, which is pretty great to see that people are connecting with this page of ours on YouTube through shorts. And if we take a look at the long form videos, this is a really long game, of course. But if we take a look, just our last one that we uploaded a day ago only has 28 views. And that was really good, by the
Mhm.
way, with Gabby.
It was.
That was awesome.
Go to
And
popular.
go to popular. It's
Yeah.
still that one that we did, that you and I did, how to be a digital creator on Facebook,
Mm.
39,000 views.
Crazy.
It is crazy, man. It is crazy. And then from there,
Like,
it slowly goes. I mean, it
yeah,
dramatically drops. Look at that.
yeah,
39,000 from our long form video to 608 views.
it's crazy.
Yeah. So when we're looking at YouTube and the big opportunities, of course, YouTube has the biggest opportunity both in getting you following that sticks around and watches what you're producing for a longer period of time, definitely. And also, if you're interested in that, to monetize it. Jeff and I have seen the monetization part is there is no competitor for the monetization if that's the route you want to go. And then over the weekend, Mr. Beast became the number one YouTube channel in the world. There was another Indian YouTube channel that had
Really?
266 million followers, and they just passed it by a few hundred or a few thousand, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Wow. Wow. Well, I think you just brought up a good point that is worth talking about because I think a lot of people have a massive misconception about monetization. And I think people think that making money on social media is easy. And not only is it not easy, it's not something I believe anyone should chase, unless you are in a league that is, and you'd know it. Like if you're in that Jake Paul, Mr. Beast, The Rock, right? If you're in a league like that, a Kardashian, okay, you got a shot to make some real money. But if you are not, and even if you look at Tristan and I and say, wow, you guys must be making a lot of money. I'm here to tell you, we don't make jack squat. I have a friend who's we've talked about before in the tractor pulling world, and he makes most of his money on Facebook, and he makes a good six-figure income from monetization. And then I've got the iMotor Mike, the guy down here at the lake who's
Hmm.
rides jet skis. He's making six figures on TikTok. And so it is possible, but when you look at just using those two as an example, and there's many, many, many others, they have really carved out a very unique niche and they have it figured out. Like it's a whole nother level. They're creating content every single day, multiple times a day. It's just like it's over most people's just bandwidth. And frankly, most of us don't even have something like like I motor Mike, he's flipping jet skis. Most of us can't even do that, period. The whole tractor pulling thing, that's just another world. And then there's obviously many, many others, but I don't think anybody should go into this with the goal, oh, once I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm going to start making a bunch of money. You're not. I mean, it's going to be pennies. So don't do it for that reason. Do it to feed your business. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that is the ultimate goal. And I pulled up some stats too, so people can take a look or at least listen in. If we take a look at our shorts and we take a look at the subscribers over, let's just say over about 10 of them, just so people can get a good idea. If we take a look at analytics, one of our shorts that had 32,000 views, 40 subscribers. Okay, 40, not bad. Next one, 15 subscribers. It's 55 and 2. And we keep going down. We start seeing that there's 6 on the next one, right? Slowly building up. We scroll down a little bit. Every once in a while, we'll hit one that has 10,000 views with 36 subscribers. The point is, it's consistency over a long period of time. Some of these videos go back to September, mid-September, mid-2023, end of 2023. Others are newer, like 2024. But the point is, we've been doing this for such a long time, and getting to 2,000, even 2,000, takes a long time. And
Yep.
so you're in it for a long haul. I still feel that out of all of the platforms where you can see the fastest growth is going to be on TikTok. This is why we brought up TikTok first. And then YouTube, I still think long term is the most rewarding, but it takes the longest to break in. What do you think, man?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's you brought up another great point, which is analytics. And, you and I both, coach and work with a lot of professionals. And if I had a nickel for every time somebody texted me an image of their analytics from a recent post saying, look at this one, what do you think? And my response every time is, I'm not trying to be a dick, but stop looking at the analytics. You don't post enough to warrant to take the time to be focusing on your analytics. All it's going to do is paralyze you, because you and I both know that the vast majority of our posts disappoint, and they disappoint in our own minds. And so I believe that disappointment paralyzes you from consistency. And so I tell everyone, you are not allowed, this is what I tell people that hire me to coach them. You're not allowed to look at analytics until you've posted 100 videos in 6 months. That's our metric, or 250 in a year. That's kind of that's basically, which tells me that you are neurotically committed to the process. When you commit to the process and you do it over a period of time, then we'll go back and start looking at the analytics. And you know who I learned that from? It was old boy YouTube guy who says 100 videos on YouTube before you start looking at the analytics. And I just apply that and carry that over to everything by saying, why are you even concerned about who's watching anyway? If there's one person that watches and that one person buys your product or service, it was worth it. So it doesn't matter if you get 10,000 views, 100,000 views, 5,000 views. Focus on the 200 or 300 of the people that actually matter to your business. Because that, to me, the people listening to this, that's what matters to us. It's not about virality. That's just an ego feeder and a metric, It helps us decide what to post more of. But at the end of the day, don't worry about it.
Dude, I agree. I like it. All right, so what's your next step for YouTube? Because I still see you growing on YouTube.
Yeah. My next step is I'm adding a second playlist, which is all going to be real estate, actually. So we are starting that this month. We're going to start doing, things once a week, right? So one is going to be a monthly update. So it's the stuff that I don't really like to put out, but I feel like it's necessary for the sake of, now this is the progression. I've established myself as the authority in the area. Now I want to add another pillar to that and say, we're your real estate experts. And so it's going to be things like, so there's going to be a monthly update. There's going to be, this city versus that city, reasons to move here, reasons not to move here, new developments, highlighting new developments, highlighting neighborhoods, things like that, highlighting listings, things, those things like that. But basically, now I'm going to commit to We've got the lifestyle related content that we've been doing every week, long form, and then now we're going to sprinkle in a real estate, so it's going to be a second long form every week. So we're kind of upping the ante a little bit, and we continue to put out a short a day.
A short a day. I like that. What's the channel on YouTube?
Lake of the Ozarks lifestyle.
Lake of the Ozarks lifestyle. Let's take a look.
And I will tell you, I don't look at my analytics. I haven't reached that 100 long form video mark yet. So I kind
All
of
right, here
follow
we
my
go.
own.
All right, we'll take a look. You've got 492 videos up. A lot of those are shorts. I love your new graphics. They
Thumbnails.
stand out. They're good. Yeah, the thumbnails are great. If we go to the shorts and we take a look at it, yeah, it looks like what you're at about. The last time we talked, you had just broken 1,000 subscribers. So
Yep.
you're at 1,000, let's just say 1,300.
Hmm.
And just from looking at the stats on the short ones, I can't see the back end. But if we're looking at it, I can tell you that that's where the majority of your followers are coming from. So keep that one up, dude. I love the shorts. Good job on the shorts.
Thanks, buddy. I can.
And then the
I
long
was gonna
form,
pull it up while you're looking at it.
I like the long forms, dude. Look, you got 6 days ago, 588 views on that one. That's pretty strong for a long form video.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Thank you. We
Very good
actually
job.
we also started a podcast too. So we've got a podcast that's less consistent. But look at that. Those thumbnails are just killer. The podcast thumbnails are just absolutely killer. It's the
They're
swinger
the
one right there.
best.
Uh, we this realtor had a swinger, a guy who wanted to open a swingers resort, and so he was telling us a story about how he was looking at the sheets under the bed and said we're gonna have to put mattress covers because we got some squirters in our group. And so I'm like, that thumbnail's got to be like me and Ramsey with the Nerf guns, super squirters. I'm like, we just had this vision, and it came together really well.
Dude, always some interesting stuff there. I love that.
Yeah.
Especially at the Ozarks. Holy crap.
Yeah, you got to have fun with it. I mean, it was literally actually about 2 minutes of the entire hour long episode, but you got to run with the stuff that's going to get people. It's clickbaity, you know what I mean?
I like that. I like that.
Yep.
All right.
What
Anything
about you?
else?
What about you? What are your goals? You're back doing the Malibu stuff, right?
I'm doing some of the Malibu stuff. I'm still doing the real estate. Here's what I still notice. The real estate news still outdoes everything that I do. When I compare it, because we just did it again, we get thousands and thousands of views and shares versus me trying to teach you something as a real estate agent or me talking about anything else. Dude, the audience that I have just demands that. So we're really doubling down on real estate news, real estate information, where NAR is going, where the real estate world's going, market, interest rates, all that. It sounds super boring, but dude, I have no idea why people love that shit. So that's what we're doubling down on. And the shorts work really well.
That's awesome.
You want to grow your channels? Do a lot of shorts, a lot of them, everyone. And
And
don't look back.
it's fascinating because we've talked about this that there are there are outlets or people out there that say don't do shorts because it will confuse the YouTube algorithm. Um, it just goes to show you there's not, we've said this before, there's not one way to skin that cat.
There isn't. Definitely isn't. All right, everybody. That's a wrap. Jeff, nice shirt.
Thanks, buddy. Captain America.
He's wearing a Captain America. Thanks, everyone.